would be the one thing you would change about yourself if you could, and why?
I would go with smaller calves because usually pants don't fit or socks don't fit.
I think you can't zoom in on this. It'd probably be my nose. I've had issues. I've had issues with my nose for a very long time. I think since I was a child, when people called me schnoz, who were very good friends of mine. We all have big noses in my family. I've never thought about getting a nose job or anything like that, but it's always been something that I've looked at and wondered about, pictures and been upset about. So now that you're zooming in on it, everyone can understand that. I think that would be it.
Sometimes I see myself mimicking my mother's abnormal behaviors, and then I'm like, no, I can't do that. She's kind of an unstable person, and I'm sort of the opposite, and we kind of balance each other out in that sense. But yeah, sometimes, I don't like to, lose my temper or stuff like that.
I'm really stubborn, so if I get to a point where I can't really, I'm having difficulties, I just kind of stop because I'm too stubborn to ask for help or stubborn in general. So I guess that.
Probably actually confidence. I wish I had more confidence. I wish I had more faith in myself and my abilities. I tend to be wrapped in self-doubt quite a bit, so that's one quality that I would definitely like to improve upon.
I would make myself less concerned with what people think of me.
Okay. Why?
Because I think that I can really drive myself nuts with kind of social paranoia, and it doesn't really serve me.
Probably my height. Is that not a physical feature? Or?
No, you can do personality or physical.
Oh, yeah, just because I'm a basketball player.
So you wish you were
5'10".
And you are
5'6".
If I could be about 6'5", so I could be a basketball player and make a lot of money. Yeah, I like myself. I don't really know if I'd like to change anything, but I guess height, maybe.
I would make myself more accepting of happiness and love. If I get to a point where something is so good and it scares me, and I wish that I could not be scared and just fully embrace a love.
Dude, I would grow back hair. If I could somehow get non-surgical implants and just have hair start sprouting on the top of my head and have the opportunity to have a hairstyle again and just the option for different hairstyles, that would be, I swear to God, that would be one of the things I'd do.
Being able to commit to one thing and excelling in that one thing to a fullest capability to really excel in that thing. And the California way, I think you have so much opportunity out here that you can kind of really dabble in different waters, I guess. So it just kind of makes it harder to make it to that next level in any given, not occupation, but I think just some field of interest.
Interestingly enough, I feel like I could be a little less sensitive because then it would be a lot easier. But that's that's not something that you can just take away from yourself once you've known how it is to be like that. But at the same time, looking outside of myself, I feel and a lot of people say it would be a lot easier if you weren't you didn't care as much about a lot of things. So I feel like it would make life easier, but I don't necessarily think it's something I could be able to give up if I had the option. So.
My hair. Definitely, I've fought with my hair since I was really young, and I've done all kinds of shit to it to make it crazy. I've straightened it. It's naturally really curly, and I fight it, and I've always wanted just thin, straight, really easy hair, and I think it also kind of makes me look ethnic, which is something that I've kind of struggled with, and as I've gotten older, I've kind of come to terms with it more. I stopped straightening it as much. I straighten my bangs still, but yeah, that's definitely why. As a teenager, you can't do something, of a problem not fitting in necessarily, and not looking exactly how my friends did, and so I guess you definitely have easier to manage hair.
Maybe I'd be a little bit more tan. Everyone's more beautiful when they're tan. No, really, I know that sounds kind of silly, but I think I'd be more tan.
One thing I would change about myself, I'm a little on the heavy side right now. I need to drop about 20-30 pounds, and I think, I think if I had to change one thing, that would be.
I think that I'd like to be less inhibited and not be guided by anxiety or fear ever. To feel like if there's something that that I know that I want out of life, to recognize it and go after it.
I want to have a much better memory. I feel like I forget a lot of stuff, and I don't know why I'm like that, but I just feel like I think that for the reason why I want that is because I think as a professional and as a person, as whatever, having good memory is actually really valuable, and I think people don't realize that sometimes, and I feel like my memory is not so great, so yeah, I guess that's what I want to change about myself.
Well, physically, I'm going to answer it in two parts because you're not being specific enough. Physically, I would like to be stronger and more toned. I feel like after 30 hit, it's been a little bit of a challenge. So that I would like physically. I would also love to get my teeth fixed. Just have them be more even. I didn't have braces growing up, so. And then for who I am, I would say that there is still, as much as I try not to be judgmental, and certainly when I'm talking with someone, I think I'm pretty good about not being judgmental, but from afar I can be pretty judgmental, and I think that that's something I should curb.
I guess tends to be better sometimes to be more outspoken, to be more confident in your public speaking. And sometimes can be a bit shy or introverted. It'd be better to be able to be more outspoken.
Happy birthday!
I suppose I would always remain in the present moment and not look too far backwards or forwards, and always appreciate my surroundings, be calm.
Oh, definitely the flab. Yeah, and I'm doing it. I've lost 30 pounds in the last 4 months. I've been going to the gym, kickboxing. It's a lot of fun, so I guess, yeah.
I would change having acne. I've had it for a long time, and just because it's really painful.
That sounds to me like a little bit of a trick question, because if I change one thing, then it upsets the balance of everything else. And seeing as I actually, I like myself, I get along real well in this life, and I feel really grateful and lucky to be here, so I don't know. I think that's catch-22. Change one thing, you change everything else. So I'm going to have to say nothing.
My first answer is that I would be taller. Because sometimes when I stand on things and look down, I realize that you just have this larger view of things that you can see as a taller person. And, I think high heels are dangerous, so I don't wear them often. But I would be taller, for sure.
the one thing that I would change about myself would be the way that I jump to conclusions about things without kind of really stepping back and looking at, what the real deal is or what's really going on. Just kind of jumping a reaction, either be negative or positive without actually really sitting back and looking at what exactly is the situation, what has brought it to this situation.
I would prefer that I didn't get so affected by what people say to me sometimes. I've definitely gotten better about it, but I was in a really bad relationship. I don't want to say really bad, but it definitely affected my confidence for a long time. I just couldn't find the nerve to end it, even though I knew it was a really bad relationship, and I always felt put down about my weight and my appearance and what I'm like, and they were always just, asking me, when are you going to go to the gym, like, why are you talking so much, blah, 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 and I just couldn't stand up for myself and end it. I just went along with it, and then I started thinking, wow, I must be fat, I must be stupid, blah, 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 this person must be right. And even after we broke up for about a year, I was just, so I was in such a bad place. And although I've gotten much better and learned from that, there's still parts of that remain in me. So I think it would be to have the confidence to just say what I want to say at the moment I want to say it. Like if someone says something that's just totally inappropriate or really really mean, I just want to be able to say, look, you're not worth my time, and just, be able to just leave them or whatever the situation is. So that's definitely something I want to work on, and I would change that about myself.
I could change, okay, well, personality-wise, or just the type of person I am, I think that I tend to compromise myself and try to not please other people, but make excuses for other people and sort of let them decide what I'm going to do instead of me deciding what I want to do. So definitely need to, maybe, it's not that I am easygoing, but be less so.
I would actually like to have a new brain. I feel a lot that there's usually a war that's being waged inside my head a lot. So it's getting better. I've done a lot of work towards it, but I'm so critical of myself, and I reached a point now in my mid-30s where I have to address these issues, and as far as like how I feel about my inner self, like for so many years all I did is try to run away from my inner self, and drank a lot and used a lot of drugs, and a lot of it was purely medicinal for me, and I don't do that anymore. And when I stopped 3 years ago, like I was just completely overwhelmed with being stuck in my head and having no way of turning it off. And it is such a critical and nagging and condescending, unforgiving part of my brain that it's taking a lot of work to try and retrain a lot of that. There's no magical pill. I can't work out enough for it. I can't drink enough water for it. I can't take enough supplements for it. It's stuff that I used to hear people talk about, and I'd be like, oh, quit your whining, and therapy this and therapy that. But it's what I've had to do. I've had to deal with some stuff and find like the pathology behind these behaviors that I picked up. And for me, some of the childhood traumas that I had the ramifications were really devastating. So my perception of myself at times can be really, really, really bad.